In this video, I'm going to show you why you're still suffering from those pesky thyroid symptoms and how to get rid of hypothyroidism permanently. Alright, so let's go. If this is your first time joining my channel, my name is Bret Porter. I do videos once a week about chronic disease and health, mindset, and today we're going to focus on a big one, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's. So what is hypothyroidism? Well, let's start with the thyroid. Thyroid, butterfly-shaped gland in your neck. It produces hormones that help regulate the body. You can think of it like the pit boss is in your brain, the pituitary gland, pit boss. You know, like at a casino, the guy that's overwatching all the card dealers, making sure everything is great, nobody's stealing money, everything is honest, everything is functioning right. It's the same thing, the pit boss in your brain, except this one is angry because these workers, this thyroid gland is being lazy, right? It's not producing enough. It's hypo, low, underactive thyroid. So he's screaming, and the language is the TSH. You know, instead of screaming English, he's screaming TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. So screaming, not producing enough, the body is dysregulated. It's basically hypothyroidism. Now there's two causes. There's iodine deficiency and Hashimoto's, autoimmune disease. If you're lucky, it's just iodine deficiency. But the thing about that, in the developing world, that's common, but in the developed world, like in the West, it's not so common. Why? Iodized salt. Once upon a time, we saw the problem. People's bodies were dysregulated. Somebody figured out that, hey, let's put iodine in the salt. Let's iodize the salt, so nobody's iodine deficient. So that's why, you know, the problem is that people jump to sea salt or Himalayan salt, and it's because it's healthier, and it is, but there's no iodine. So you have to supplement somehow, and that's where sea vegetables come in, like kelp, where you get your iodine. If you're lucky, it's iodine deficiency is why you have this hypothyroidism. For the rest of us, in the majority of the developed world, it is Hashimoto's. Other causes can be past radiation or surgery, which is given problems to the, basically deteriorated the thyroid gland. But the most common is Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, which alerts us to a problem. That if we're treating thyroid differently than we treat an autoimmune disease, there's a problem there, and we'll get into that. So who gets hypothyroidism? Well, mainly women. Lucky me. Brain fog, heaviness, gaining weight, slow digestion, dry skin, brittle hair, the depression. Pretty serious symptoms. So how does conventional medicine treat it? Well, they usually write you a prescription like me for levothyroxine, and then they'll adjust it as you go. Levothyroxine, Synthroid, there's a couple common ones. Levothyroxine, thyroxine is T4, which enters your body and it converts to T3, helps regulate. T4 is the most predominant, it's like 94% T4 basically in those pills, 6% around T3, but T3 is the most active in the body. Not to get too far in the weeds with it. And we'll get to testing and cover a little bit more of this. But anyway, so they give you this, you know, synthetic T4 to send into your body. And what does this pill do for you? Well, it's good in a way because it manages symptoms. That's what it's supposed to do. If you're watching this video, it probably hasn't done a very good job. With me, it stopped doing a good job. The symptoms came back. And why is that? Because you're treating the wrong disease. I can't say this enough. I want to say it 1,000 times and loud, but that wouldn't make sense, not on YouTube. Treating the wrong disease. Hashimoto's is autoimmune disorder. It's an autoimmune disease. Hypothyroidism is an underactive thyroid. And yes, Hashimoto's is the cause for hypothyroidism. But it's not because your thyroid gland just decided to stop working. Unless you had radiation or chemotherapy or surgery, something like that, that really destroyed part of your thyroid gland. We're talking about Hashimoto's that came about through unknown reasons, right? And that's how it does. It just shows up one day. But there's a reason for it. There's a man behind the curtain, if you will. And I'll get to that. But what conventional medicine has done is basically put a bandaid on it. A doctor has given a contract and said, sign this lifelong contract for you to take this pill. And you're going to take it for the rest of your life and you should be fine. Meanwhile, the disease, the virus, okay, I'll expose the man behind the curtain, all right? The major contributor to hypothyroidism is EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, also known as herpes 4. Meanwhile, herpes 4, EBV is getting stronger underneath, and you're treating the symptoms for this thing that's going on. So you can see where the problem is, right? If it's just symptomatic, you're treating the symptoms, this thing is growing stronger, the thyroid isn't getting any better, eventually those symptoms are going to come back. What I call is the knee brace. Conventional medicine treats it like a knee brace for a torn ACL, right? Yeah, you can wear the knee brace for the rest of your life on a torn ACL. Your knee's not going to get any better. In fact, it'll get worse. It'll cause pain, it'll disrupt the body, except in this case, it's a lot worse because it regulates the body. Temperature regulation, depression, brain fog, these are nasty, nasty things. I know, I've had to deal with them. You're erratic. You think you're just going crazy. You have tinnitus sometimes. You don't know what's going on. They're just symptoms. Because why? You're not treating the virus that's underneath. Why? Because you haven't been tested for it. Conventional medicine usually doesn't test for things like that. They just say, oh, hypothyroidism, let's do a thyroid panel. Okay, cool, T3, T4, TSH, here's a pill, go away and you'll be fine for the rest of your life, take that pill. And I don't recommend just jumping off levothyroxine or your thyroid medication if they're regulating your symptoms, because being off the medication is a lot worse and it can develop even more problems. If you go cold turkey, it can be dangerous. So don't just jump off. It helps to regulate the symptoms while you're treating the real disease underneath, the real virus. So how do we start the process of healing? First off, we need to treat the actual symptoms from the virus. So corn, soy, gluten, dairy, pork, saturated fats, those are the main ones. So you need to avoid those altogether. Those can be potential triggers, and they're also major contributors to autoimmune disease. As a matter of fact, one of the first steps is cutting all those things out. And a good resource is, if you've heard of AIP, autoimmune protocol, autoimmune protocol, is great. You can look on, I'll put a link down below, but I think Chris Kresser and a few people have some really good resources where you can check out the diet, and they lay it all out for free online, which is great, and all the trigger foods to avoid. So that's a good place to start, because it may be something, your symptoms may be something as simple as, you're just triggering it by eating dairy every day or eating eggs. Eggs is actually a big contributor too. I forgot about that one, which is sad because I used to eat a ton of eggs every morning. Eggs, avocado, turkey, bacon. Ooh, I miss that. I miss some foods. We won't dwell. Heavy toxins, molds, heavy metals, etc. And a good way to get those out of your body is start on a celery cleanse. I know celery kind of blew up, whatever, but it has really anti-inflammatory, anti-immunoregulatory, helps detox the body. So get on celery, lemon water, cucumber water. Those just help throughout the day replenish electrolytes, and they help cleanse the body, detox the body. So how do we start treating these symptoms in a real way, in a concrete way? Because if you're watching this video, your symptoms are probably still there. The treatment right now is not working. Why? Because it's a bandaid. It's not working because they're treating the wrong thing. Remember, we have an autoimmune disease caused by a virus. And by autoimmune, people say autoimmune disease, it's the body attacking itself. It's not true. Our immune system is doing everything it can to fight the virus, to help out, to fortify, to block, but it needs help. So how do we help it? How do we not only get at the real symptoms, not just topically, in a real way, and how do we treat the virus? Well, let's get into it. So vitamin D, glutathione, balance and regulate the immune system. Curcumin is great. It's anti-inflammatory. LDN, low-dose naltrexone, is great because it balances the central nervous system. So you're having the depression and anxiety and brain fog and everything else. It helps balance that out, so you're getting back in your mind. Because it's tough to be proactive and get on a diet and do all these cleanses and everything else and try to get rid of something in your body if you're depressed and not feeling good and can't concentrate. So that's why we want to get it back in check. We want to get the central nervous system, immune system, everything back in check. Lauricidine, which I have here, it's lauric acid. It's found in coconut oil, but this is high concentration. And that's antiviral. That's made to attack that EBV virus. Get rid of it. Lemon balm and echinacea tea is a good daily regimen. It's antiviral. It's an antiviral tea combo powerhouse. Other supplements that are great for getting rid of the EBV virus and treating the symptoms are ashwagandha, probiotics, vitamin D, fish oils. They're all great for the body to help maintain, to get you back on track. And that's what we're trying to do. There are traditional antivirals, but I would be careful because talk to your team, talk to your doctor, because they have side effects that can be pretty brutal, and sometimes the risk is not worth the reward. You know, sort of like the side effects can contribute to other things. If you're going to your conventional doctor, he'll do a test, but make sure he does the full thyroid panel. By full, I don't just mean TSH, T3, T4, full. TSH, T3, T4, reverse T3 and T4, total T3, T4. And then antibodies to make sure it's Hashimoto's autoimmune and it's not iodine deficiency, which is doubtful. Most of the time it's Hashimoto's. But get the full test. Take that full test to your functional medicine team, like I did. I would say a functional medicine team, just because they'll look and see what viruses are going on, see what underlying factors are contributing to this. Unless your conventional doctor is really kind of outside the box thinker, usually they'll just look at the full thyroid panel and give you a pill and send you on your way, which is giving you a bandaid for a gunshot wound, basically. All right, guys, as always, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe. I want to get the information out there, and I don't want you to miss out on new information for you and your friends and family, or whoever needs help with this chronic disease. I mean, this world is so complex. This chronic disease world is so complex and convoluted. There's so much information out there. That's why I want to try to give a step-by-step nuts and bolts approach, or at least sift through this madness of information that's online and floating around, and at least give specifics, like with hypothyroidism, to let people know that they're treating the wrong thing. That's why they're feeling like crap. I don't want to feel like crap, and I don't want people to feel like crap. That's why I'm making these videos, to try to help people feel better. And also, I want to know what you're going through, what your health situation is. Are you going to start on one of these regimens? Are you going to start on the celery lemon cleanse? Are you going to start detoxing? Or are you going to go straight for, you know, the antivirals? Or how are you attacking this thing? Again, I'll put the links down below of all the resources so you can get started on it. There's different regimens. There's a great book out. There's a great website. There's great information out there that's helpful. All right, guys, until next time, be healthy, be well, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. All right? Take care. Get it out of your body to be healthy. I don't want you to be the bird with the clipped wing. Let's be full flying pterodactyls. That was a little intense.